guide the club along the path to success. As the winningest club in USL League One history, we relish the memorable moments within each and every season that have kept us hungry for more. But it's not just about the players, the highlights, or the trophies. It's about all of us joining together and fostering a union that stands for much more than the sports we love. The way we come together as one community to celebrate and commiserate, to stand up for what's right and to protect our culture. It will make this club, this organization, and you one of a kind. One city, one club, all of us one means all.
Here's today's starting lineup for the visitors, Richmond, presented by Rotella's Italian Bakery. In goal, number 35, James Smith. Number 5, Maximiliano Schenfeld. Number 60, Clyde Cella. Number 30, Griffin Garnett. Number 4, Simon Finch. Number 6, Zaka Oran. Number 17, James Vaughn. Number 27, Chandler O'Wine. Number 11, Ryan Sierakowski. Number 32, the captain, Emiliano Tartaglia. And number 45, Josh Kirkland. And the head coach for the Richmond Kickers is Darren Zawadzki. Fans, we now ask that you please rise and remove your hats for today's performance of the national anthem, presented by Washington Blues. Today, the national anthem will be performed by Ryan Floyd.
Only one spot in the USL League One semifinal remains. It'll go to either Union Omaha or the Richmond Kickers, two of the standard bearers here in this league. In the USL playoffs, brought to you by by Terminix. First place Union Omaha against an 8th place team that has gotten hot down the stretch. Not your typical 1 versus 8 matchup here. Bottom half of the bracket already set. It'll be Madison and Spokane. It will either be Omaha or Richmond against the Greenville Triumph. And we're happy to have you with us here on CBS Sports Network alongside the ex-German pro Devin Kerr. I'm Joe Malfa. Devin, these two teams, you alluded to it, it's one of the teams who's had the most success as of late against one of the originals, and it should be a lot of fun.
One of the most historic and most recognizable brands in all of American soccer. And the Richmond Kickers, they've still got a couple of guys hanging around from that 22 team that finished #1 overall. But this Union Omaha team, once again, the #1 seed, the player shed winners. But what they want is to be the first team in League One history to put 2 stars above the crest. Record-breaking all over the pitch once again for this Omaha squad, especially on the attacking side of it. Dominic Casciato gives them such a luxury of freedom within this system that it doesn't matter if they operate in a 4, in a 3. The idea is to have confidence, strength of numbers, unbalancing you side to side, but specifically going the vertical route that has set these incredible numbers once they do get into the final third. Club record for points per game, that's 2nd in league history, and certainly the goals per game is what everybody keeps their eye on. That is best in League One history. This Richmond Kickers team, they go about their business a little bit differently, though it took them quite some time to get to this point, Joe. To start, it wasn't good, plain and simple. So what did Darren Zawadzki do? He retooled them. He still wants them to have the ball. He still wants team to chase, but they're much more organized in nature. They don't take as many chances. They're more clinical on the ball from a defensive standpoint, and so down the stretch of games and these last 6, they've been near unpenetrable against their opponents.
I'm going to send it now to the 3rd member of our crew, Bridget Howard, standing by with Emiliano Terzaghi.
Emiliano, a great run to end the regular season and clinch that final playoff spot. What gives you the confidence that this group can get it done this afternoon?
Este grupo han tenido un gran racha a terminar la temporada regular. ¿Qué confianza tienes que podrán lograrlo esta noche?
Sí, tuvimos un gran sprint final a lo último de la temporada y bueno, hoy estamos aquí para tener un gran juego.
We ended the regular season on a great streak and we're here to have a great game.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Devin, for as good as they've been defensively, they need the all-time leading scorer in League One history to step up as well.
Finished 11th out of 12th in total goals in League One, so it is about the attacking front. What kind of chemistry are you going to get, and especially early on to establish confidence on that front 3, but I'm also looking down underneath. Dakota Barnathan, a massive loss within the midfield, red carded in the 41st minute against Charlotte. His ground coverage and ball retention is a huge loss for them. I talked about all the movement that you get out of this Union Omaha squad. This front 3, it goes to 5, it goes to 6. What I'm looking at is the way that the back 3 rotate, and Pedro Dolabella, one of just 2 players in League One this year, top 10 in both goals and assists. Most notable, the absence of Mishak Jerome, the Omaha center back, unavailable for selection tonight.
And the USL community is rallying around Union Omaha's Mishak Jerome and his family. They're recovering from an explosion at their home. For more information on how you can support Mishak, his wife, and their family, visit Union Omaha's social media accounts on Instagram and X. You saw the armbands, the t-shirts. It's very much on the minds and hearts of the Union Omaha players as they take the field this afternoon. And when we return, we will have a kick between Union Omaha and the Richmond Kickers. It's the Bujos against the Roos. It's 1 versus 8. It's the quarterfinal in USL League One.
Can't hear him.
Hey, check 1, 2, test 1, 2, 3, check 1, 2, 1, 2.
Check 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, check, 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 1, 2, 3. Brady, can you, say something for me? Say it again. Yeah, so just a heads up, who's in audio? Yeah, Victor, what's up, bud? So just a heads up, Brady is not on the producer button for me. No, so if I turn him up, it's actually part of the Nats. If I turn him up, I can't hear him. So Brady, just speak loud for me, okay? Thanks, man. Bop, bop, bop.
We are ready to get things going here at Werner Park in the USL playoffs, brought to you by Terminix. Three-time USL League One MVP Emiliano Terzaghi ready to lead the Richmond Kickers to what they hope is an upset over the top-seeded Omaha after a historic season for this club. Again, rattled by the tragedy that shook up the club just a couple of nights ago. All the players wearing the number 2 armbands, honoring Mishak Jerome as he goes through it right now with his family and their efforts to recover. Rashid Nuhu just went over and greeted the supporters, where they have a banner hanging over the fence for Mishak Jerome as well. And we are underway here at Werner Park. Richmond right to left in the white, Omaha left to right in the black. And we're happy to have you with us here on CBS Sports Network alongside Devin Kerr. I'm Joe Malfa. 1 versus 8 for the final spot remaining in the semifinal. One thing that's going to be very apparent as we go through this matchup, just the cozy confines of this field. Converted baseball field. It's narrow, it's short. It's something that Omaha has used to their advantage in all their years here at home. 5 successful seasons in USL League One. I'd like to turn you over the midfield and turn that into a quick transition. Darren Sawatsky, though, head coach of Richmond, wants to take that and shove it right back at Omaha. They plan to press the goal kicks, press the back line, and try to force some of their own turnovers and quick transitions.
Got to be so careful with them, Matt, right? Because you come high, you open up more space, and certainly that benefits Union Omaha in terms of the transitional moments that have been the bread and butter all season long. Then again, it can also be the disruptor to not allow them to establish any sort of rhythm. To me, that's just about organization and communication, and certainly something that has played right into the hands of the success of the Kickers down the tail end of this season.
Here's Terzaghi. Looks inside for Zico, rather. Ryan Sierakowski switching. Stepping up off the back line, Simon Fitch. Talk about him a lot today. Here he is, Fitch centering. Opportunity there, cleared out for a corner. And here in the second minute now, you hear the supporters applauding. A minute to honor Mishak Jerome. Now from the corner, low-driven ball in, dealt with by Omaha. And they want to break out quickly. Recovered by Maxi Schenfeld. Tom Casciato, the head coach of this Omaha side. Second season, reigning coach of the year. Guided them to another Players' Shield. Top team in the regular season. Wants to guide them to that second star above the crest, that second title. Won it back in 2021 under Jay Mims. Switched out to Ryan Jiba. Jiba only made 2 starts this regular season. Gets the nod here in the playoff game. A player who was the 19th overall pick in the 23 MLS draft. Ended up facilitating a move to Minnesota from Omaha. Now works his way back. Darren Sawatsky looking on, the head coach of the Richmond Kickers. Been here for their 5 years in League One. He was the coach of the year in 2022. Guided this Richmond team to the Players' Shield that season. Turned over out of the back. Stepping off, Kunga. Cutting in, Kunga blocked. And Darren Sawatsky glanced down at him. He was not happy after that giveaway out of the back there. That's something that Omaha is notorious for. You have to be ready for it, Richmond. They're going to swarm you in your own half. It's a small field. They're going to strike quickly whenever they can.
The biggest thing for me is that, as well as I talked about organization, right? The way that Union Omaha go about their business on the pressure side of things is they don't overly commit numbers, but that organization on the front line, they're so good about moving side to side to force you into uncomfortable situations where Darren Sawatsky, Richmond Kickers, the 6-game stretch, they've been much more efficient on the ball and really haven't given up any unnecessary errors. Those are the things you can control, right? And especially in matches such as this where everything's on the line, just so much simpler. Knock it long, you know, come negative in the sense of moving away from where the pressure is coming from. You cannot allow too many unnecessary opportunities just gifted right to this front three.
Chella sends it long as part of this new approach here for Richmond. They've been more pragmatic, more direct in ways, compact defensively. It's helped them in this very successful finish to the season. 3rd best record in the league over the last 6 games. Chatted with Darren Sawatsky about that pivot earlier in the year. They felt they were bitten by the injury bug a bit harshly as compared to some of the other teams in the league. Through it all, still sort of put their style and their flair on games, controlling more of the ball. Last 7-8 games, though, said, you know what, let's just be pragmatic. Let's play solid defensively. Let's be a bit more direct, and the results have followed. Malone looks long. Schenfeld recovers. Griffin Garnett. We'll talk about him a lot on the back line as well. Griffin Garnett, the 18-year-old, 20 appearances this year. Darren Sawatsky says if Garnett doesn't win the Young Player of the Year this year, he will be floored. He's come on as a teenager and been a staple on the back line. Just beyond Terzaghi. Chiba for Dolabella. Dolabella, somebody you highlighted, talking about the 11 here for Omaha. He can do it, providing the service out of the midfield. He can range up and score in his own right.
And certainly all the numbers they've been able to compile on the attacking side of things has come with a bit of exploration throughout the process as well. Dolabella as a high 9, as a false 9. Again, Zico Lewis primarily operates off the left, but pretty much anybody else that's on that attacking front really has the freedom within this system to roam a lot more, and that's the biggest difference for me within this squad compared to seasons past of, yes, they're still direct, yes, they're still physical, but much more dynamic in terms of the overall positional aptitude.
That stayed in for Kunga. Composure on the back end to clear this.
And we'll be keeping an eye, though, on this back line as you move a little bit deeper away from the relationships of Dolabella and Max Schneider in the midfield. Chris Grassi, head coach at Marshall University, somewhere smiling, by the way, that those national title winners are still together. But Charlie Ostrom and the way that he sits on that left side, again, the combination of Malone, Master Antonio, and Charlie Ostrom isn't something that's uncharacteristic. It's just the fact that he's going to be really the isolated 3 on that left with Jiba just in front of him. Not the normal pairing that we see over there on the left.
Gallardo commits the foul. 26-year-olds in his 2nd year here with Omaha. Gallardo, 4 goals, 4 assists this season. Was actually an all-league player, first team with Richmond back in 2019. He began his pro career. From there went to Real Monarchs and then to Querétaro in Liga MX. Gallardo now with Omaha against the club where he started his career in Richmond. Simon Fitch drops it all the way back to James Sneddon. Another teenager back there. We've got the teenage center back in Griffin Garnett at 18. 18-year-old goalkeeper who's taken over down the stretch here and posted 3 clean sheets for a club that didn't have any before he started the games. A lot of faith in the youth from Darren Sawatsky. They might be tested here. Sweeping it off the back line, Clyde Chella. Gallardo. Knuckling ball that Sneddon deals with. Now, these two coaches have squared off a handful of times, and as of late, it's been pretty one-sided in the series. 3 Omaha wins, pair of draws, and Omaha 9-2 in the aggregate. And Darren Sawatsky would certainly like to get one back here on Dominic Casciato.
The overall series, historically, is actually quite even. 4 wins for Union Omaha, 3 for Richmond Kickers, and 3 draws. The problem is the pendulum swung the other direction, and it has been a little bit difficult for Richmond Kickers to keep up. They've also gone younger when it comes to personnel. And certainly the way that they go about their business, talent development and advancement within the younger ages. We see more young players getting signed to professional contracts, trying to develop. You talked about Griffin Garnett, certainly James Sneddon, another one comes to mind. Really extended conversation earlier this year prior to their Open Cup run where I was talking to Darren Sawatsky, and it was just kind of about the belief of changing the narrative of what the developmental path needed to be as compared to what people think it should be. And there's a very big difference within there. There's the misnomer historically of, okay, it's D1 college and then pro. And then that obviously changed when the academy system started to become bigger. So now it's you want to be MLS Next Pro, or you want to be on an academy contract and go pro right away. You don't have to do that, though. There's such a wide variety of ways to find success in this country. And so, yeah, it can be the college player that comes here after 4 years university. It can also be the 16-year-old. The whole idea, though, is to blend all styles together. And I give him a lot of credit because as the season has gone on, the success has followed. It just took a really long time to get off that starting line.
Also looks like Darren Sawatsky could just get out there himself, still jacked to the gills and always intense in his technical area. Every now and again, it does feel like he's ready to step onto the field. And it's interesting because it's the complete opposite team build on the opposite side for Union Omaha. They are up there spending at the top of USL League One. It's a roster that has a lot of familiar USL Championship faces that in some cases turn some heads that these guys signed here instead of in Championship, but they take such great care of their players from on the field to off the field. Everything you can ask for in a professional organization, they supply it for the group, and it's been a boon for them in terms of recruiting and luring players here.
You've got the standard bearer in the championship, which is Louisville City, and you have to imagine that the little brother, and I don't say that as a negative term, but it's got to be Union Omaha in League One, right? The facilities, certainly the financial backing to help lure people to the center of the country. 3 separate times finishing the Players' Shield winners. Friendly reminder that these 2 teams account for 4 of the last 4 of the #1 overall seeds. But within that, some disappointment as well, because only in 2021 were they able to go on and win an actual title come postseason time. Only twice have we ever seen the #1 overall become the eventual champion. 2021 Union Omaha, and the other being that 2019 North Texas team, who was just loaded with professional talent.
Go back and look at the names on that team if you got some time after this one.
And speaking of which, their former head coach, now in charge of New Mexico United. He'll be here at 9 o'clock Eastern time, CBS Sports Network, the 1-8 matchup in the Western Conference of the USL Championship. Is that up past your bedtime, or are you able to hang around?
I'll hang around,
okay,
as long as you do.
It's past mine. It's way too late for me, man.
Now that'll be a fun one later. New Mexico, Phoenix, great rivalry in USL Championship. 2 teams Again, at opposite ends of the standings coming in, 1 versus 8, but they like this. Look out here, taken through, opportunities just wide. Ryan Sierakowski blitzing that back line. It's something Darren Sawatsky wanted them to do. Take some of Union Omaha's MO and shove it right back at them. Press that back line, create chances in the first one here for the Kickers.
Speed never been an issue for Sierakowski, but it's always been about his first step from college all the way through the pro ranks. And watch the way that he reacts off of this. Just his ability to continue the run and get that vital touch around it. I don't think he trusts himself here. Questioning as to whether or not he wants to go with his instep and bring it back across the body. Caught between two minds and just undercuts it a little bit. Plenty of real estate there to go after Rashid Nuhu. And a massive opportunity missed.
Quickly taken here from Omaha. Kunga deflects through favorably for Omaha, nearly landing at the feet of Aaron Gomez. Gallardo drops it back for Blake Malone, player who was a part of that 2021 title here with Union Omaha. Left the last 2 years, an MLS Next Pro with Colorado Rapids 2, and rejoined Omaha this year. Blake Malone. Welcome back in the third member of our crew, Bridget Howard, for some of the armbands here for Union Omaha.
Yeah, guys, just the heartbreaking news coming from the Union Omaha side as Jerome and his wife and close relatives were all injured in an explosion. You mentioned it earlier in the open, but you could feel the weight of his absence here at the stadium, especially during that moving moment in the second minute when fans all cheered for him in celebration, but they're all wearing white armbands today with personal messages of support, and along with that, the players wore Jerome's number 2 on their pre-match jerseys, and obviously we saw that moment in the second minute. That was very moving.
Well, they would love nothing more than to get a win for him. A flurry of chances here, drop back to Gallardo, and it's blocked. Fed out to Dolabella. Kunga. And Gallardo again. Everybody capable of a threat on this Omaha team. Gallardo flares a dangerous ball in. You look up and down the list, there's really nobody who's incapable of scoring for this Omaha team, whether it's guys on the back line who are good in the air. Everybody in that front 6 you touched on earlier, they can all get it done.
It's just really the first time, though, in the opening 15 minutes that we've seen them go quick tempo every single time. I think they've been a bit tentative overall, and the way that they've gone about their business on the ball. Some of the runs a little bit slow to matriculate forward. Well done that time, though, to immediately off the first chance, then the second and the third, should just continue to apply the pressure. One of the biggest assets that they've had. I'd also keep an eye just down underneath. I mentioned Dakota Barnathan and his absence due to the red card he picked up in that final match of the season against the Charlotte Independents. I do like the way that they've shielded James Vaughn so far. They brought Chandler Dwight just a little bit deeper, and that's going to put more pressure on Zaka Moran within the midfield to release him higher in that solo 10. But the whole idea is provide defensive structure. As you move, you use it a unit. You can then release O'Dwyer higher, become a 2-man front, dueling 10s just in front of that back 3.
There's some more of that pressure on the top line from Richmond. They don't want to give this back line much time. Rashid Nuhu will send it long now. He's been a mainstay in goal for Omaha. Their time in League One. He's the goalkeeper of the year in 2022 and a 2-time Golden Glove winner. There's the captain's armband for this Omaha squad as well. Talking to for Max Schneider, coming in on that challenge. Dwyer limping away from it.
Certainly a little bit late here, the way that he steps out back through it. A little surprised that Schneider didn't try and pull out a bit sooner, though it looked like his footing did come out from underneath him.
Surprised not to see a card from Jeremy Shear.
It's early. He does try and restrict the aggressiveness within the tackle. Again, just loses a bit of his footing, so no, it's the right decision.
Sierakowski's ballooned free kick ends up out and out in favor of Omaha. Saw Darren Sawatsky chatting with the fourth official after that goal. I wonder if he was asking for a yellow as well. Happened right in front of his technical area. 20 minutes in, still scoreless between Omaha and Richmond. One spot remaining in the semifinal here in USL League One. Playoffs brought to you by Terminix. Whoever wins this game will get the Greenville Triumph in the next round. Schenfeld brings a veteran presence on the back line for Richmond. 32-year-old from Chile actually spent the last 2 years playing arena soccer and ended up in Richmond this year as a regular, starting 19 of their 22 games. Floated in from Gallardo. Cleared further by Vaughn. Malone keeps it going. Kunga couldn't get it back to Malone. Charging up off the back line. Need those quick combinations on this tighter field just to find a way through. Now Malone breaks free, keeps it in play, loses his footing, regathers. Malone. Kunga. How quickly the space is closed down. Just disappears. Try the other side now. Mastrantonio. Malone. Gallardo. And the run coming out of the midfield. Mike Gomez is lagging behind. Dolabella's up at the top of the formation right now. Malone. Good step from Schenfeld. Mastrantonio almost got caught trying to pirouette away from Terzaghi. Pressure stepping up now again from the kickers.
The pressure is certainly much better over the past couple of minutes. They've been more aggressive, bringing Chandler O'Dwyer higher next to Zaka Moran, which is what we asked for. Again, if you're going to release, you just have to make sure that you have the ability to provide support. They do need some help next to Terzaghi, though. That's the one thing is, you know, as his age continues to go, the way that you're able to move him along that front line, especially in terms of defensive pressure, has certainly decreased. So I do like the idea of resetting that line of confrontation, at least intermittently at times. A bit higher for the Richmond kickers.
Interesting in some of these spells too, when they do see more of the ball, it's how they like to play early in the year before they made that shift to be more pragmatic, more defensive oriented. Terzaghi wanted to let that rip and did, but the whistle blew from Jeremy Shear.
Within all that movement for Union Omaha, Joe, we just saw Mastrantonio coming off the back line a second ago. We've already seen the way that Dolabella releases a bit higher, and we've talked about the varying nature of the front three. You play quick when you initially pick it up. You don't allow them to reset themselves. So that puts more pressure on them out of their comfort zone, because they don't mind the rotation when they start to move forward, but they still want to reset to their initial positions when they start to track back. And if you come quickly off that back line, it does two things. It doesn't allow them to get there, and also it's that line. You push yourselves a little bit higher, you reset yourself defensively on the field, and you stay organized. And the latter portion of that conversation is the biggest one for the kickers. They have just become so good, such as moments like this, that when it does break down, the way that they set themselves, provide them proper structure, and they go again.
Terzaghi down back behind the play. He was taken down by Mastrantonio. Yellow card was shown. Richmond wanted the advantage to be played out there. Center back on a yellow for Omaha. Looking for Kirkland, chasing down the wing.
Done.
First pro season for Josh Kirkland. Just made 2 starts, 5 appearances. Out of the University of Mary Washington. 47 goals in his time there. 2-time D3 All-American. Now Simon Fitch to get it back into play. The unsung hero that Darren Sawatsky really thinks deserves more shine in this league. Was named the team MVP. When he's been asked to step up off the back line and contribute offensively, he's done it. 4 goal contributions. When he's asked to sit back and lock it down, he does it. And now we're going to see a yellow the other way. Cella picks it up.
And one of the late season acquisitions here. Claude Cella, the Mississauga, Ontario native. As he's come over here, I don't think he needs to do this. Again, that little push away, he could just step right in through. Have the pressure on the backside of Lagos Kuna, because defensively he was actually shielded on the strong side of support with his 2 midfielders. Both aggressive, center backs very aggressive. Cornet and Cella. The way they like to go about it, quickly stepping off the back line, both really clean with the ball at their feet. Just lets one get away from him.
Space here for Gallardo. There's 2 players running in behind. Gallardo looking back post. Flicked away by Fitch. Only as far in the area. Oh, Lewis looking for Gomez. Another promising moment gone by the wayside for Omaha. Shots are currently just 3-1 in Omaha's favor. Neither side has really found many opportunities. It's interesting, some games on this smaller field open up where it's just transitional chance after transitional chance. Other games, just because there's not a ton of room to maneuver, they get more clogged up. They get a lot tighter. You go back to a game that sticks out for Omaha in their Open Cup against El Paso Locomotive, a match they won here in the shootout. That game had over 40 total shots. Only a handful were on target because the space was just quickly closed down. Neither side had really any good, genuine looks. So it goes 1 of 2 ways on this smaller field. Neither got end-to-end action, high goal scoring, or it's really, really tight. Not much of it in between. On a day where everybody is a little bit tighter because of the nature of the playoffs and win or go home. And we're seeing it play out that way so far, where it is a lot tighter. Lewis. Zico Lewis guided away by Cella. Malone. Juggling act from Kunga to get it out of harm's way. And when they show the lineup in this one, Omaha, Kunga is up there as your right winger. Look where he is. There's so much maneuverability within it for the Owls.
But one of the issues I've got with it is, as they've relieved some of the players off the front line, Dolabella is just retreating further and further. away from that attacking unit. I don't like that. You know, you have to have a player drop off to account for numbers and make sure there's proper balance. That's got to be a shout at number 23, Max Schneider. So good with the ball at his feet, both sides. Long distributional capability. You pull Dolabella off of that. Not only do you remove him further away, more ground to cover, but he's also, there's a really big gap within the midfield. So even if Kunga comes or Zico Lewis, it's losing balance overall. I would also say that left side, it's a little bit predictable in the way that they've been coming to this right-hand flank. A lot coming through. Gallardo and Blake Malone on this right side don't have the same sort of balance with Ryan Jiba on the left.
James Vaughan called for the foul. 13 starts this year, hard-nosed box-to-box midfielder. His first season in League One. Spent some times with a club that was now under the USL umbrella, Detroit City FC, but that was back before they had joined the league. 3 years there for James Vaughan.
It's a Ben Pierman disciple.
A lot of those have come to the ranks and had a lot of success. Ben Pierman is through to the next round, beat Pittsburgh yesterday in USL Championship. Detroit City is not. They lost to Tampa Bay. Half an hour gone here at Warner Park. Dolabella sends it forward. Still looking for the first shot on target from either side. Malone. Challenge put in from Gallardo. We can get what he's saying. Maxi Schenfeld trying to figure out exactly where the throw needs to be taken from. They found the spot, chucks it long, and it's won back anyway by Omaha. I imagine Darren Sawatsky would like a little bit more in the attack from Richmond, but he's probably happy with the way they've muddied it up and haven't allowed Omaha any opportunities in transition thus far. Best look actually belonged to Richmond. Stepping up, Sierakowski on the back line, forcing the turnover, put it whiskers wide. Chiba. Dolabella dropping in deep. He's chased by O'Dwyer. Closing was Kirkland. Sent long by Ostrom. Set pieces in a game that's been muddied up like this can be an avenue to an opportunity for a team like Omaha. Terzaghi not happy with this call. Captain in the ear of Jeremy Shear. Gallardo ventures across to take this one. Gallardo puts it to a dangerous area. They're waiting for it. Cella. Zico Lewis trying to keep it alive. Terzaghi slips. He's fouled. And the threat ends.
I love the battle that was. Pedro Dolabetta and James Vaughn on that set piece opportunity.
Dangerous pass back. Lewis read it. Almost got there. Vaughn had to touch it along. Simon Fitch.
Moran's got to pinch out of there and find himself open. There's tons of space for him to step into. They're just not playing him centrally, kind of hiding behind the two midfielders.
Saka Moran, one of those players for the Kickers who'd been there in that 2022 Players' Shield winning season. He's been here since 2021. Led the team in tackles and interceptions among non-defenders. Wreaks havoc in the midfield, helps facilitate as well. Looking for Terzaghi. That should be a card, you'd think. That's what Terzaghi's wondering. There was no attempt on the ball. The grab of the arm and nothing else from Charlie Ostrom.
That's just veteran experience from a top striker, and Terzaghi, who throws Charlie Ostrom into this situation. Watch the way that he spins off, just shielding his body back to the inside. Gets him to bite on the pressure. Really well done. Utilization of space and time to his advantage.
Early in his time in League One, Terzaghi did get a reputation for going down a bit easy, and it got to a point where he did not get some of the calls he should have. There was no question about that one. It was Ostrom locking fingers and making sure that he did not get by him. Schenfeld responsible for the delivery now. Goes short, something off the training ground, tried to play it through. And wasted in the end. Now Omaha wants to get out and run. Kunga chasing, touches into space. Kunga, Lewis streaking centrally, still Kunga. And Schenfeld got back, cut him off. And that's gonna be a handball on Schenfeld. The universal sign of, hey ref, I just got fouled, let me grab the ball, but Jeremy Shear didn't see it that way, and it's a free kick instead. He's lucky that it wasn't in the box.
I'm just gonna say, I'm lucky that he doesn't get a card in this situation either. And they'll reach out for it. That's the argument from Gomez up top here. Initially thought he did a really good job, then a bit too fancy with the footwork on the tail end of it. Weak side support from Gomez coming for Kunga on the right. Just play it out right there and trying to cut it back in between in a 2v1 situation down in the corner. So unnecessary considering the positioning on the field.
Essentially a corner here. Schneider delivers, whips it in, punched away by Sneddon.
Sneddon wasn't a foul in this situation, but don't really see much there from Ryan Jiba in terms of the way that he attacks the goalkeeper. Blocking maybe, but no reach out at all. If anything, it's just his teammate drifting in front of him.
Another opportunity though on a set piece now for Omaha. Schenfeld again, player who gets caught.
Let's just keep an eye. Last time around, there was plenty of space, although located in a different
part of the field, right atop the 18, the way that they could have cut back across. Really clever with some of their dead ball situations.
Dolabella lingering there around the penalty spot. Big target to be looking for here. Gallardo. Headed back across frame, and out, it's saved by Sneddon, rebound, saved again! Oh, the 18-year-old who grew up going to Richmond Kickers games at City Stadium, now with the jersey on, making a big play like this in a postseason match.
Darren Zawadzki actually calls him a bit moody, even for the top quality capability that he brings. But the teenager's response to that is you got to have a spine, you got to have a bit of attitude, and maybe it comes with some moodiness, but the way that he carries confidence within this team, constantly barking orders, constantly making save after save in such spectacular fashion. Called to arms at the most difficult times and beautifully taken in traffic twice by James Sneddon.
No, it's been a while since you've been a teenager, but moodiness is typical of a teenager.
Thanks a lot. Not necessarily from a goalkeeper, though. Listen, goalkeepers are a different breed.
Very much so.
Goalkeepers and strikers, those are the two ones on the field that, let's just say that they're not always part of a group project. That's probably the nicest way to do it, but plenty of goalkeeper that I came up with, they were a little bit quieter. Certainly there's a screw loose back there because you're more than willing to step in front of a ball coming at you sometimes over 100 miles an hour. But with him specifically, just the way that it carries over into his performances, it's always the proper positioning. He's got such command of the team in front of him, always in control of his back four, barking orders and just constantly making sure that everybody's in check, and yet when it's his turn, never shies away from the moment.
Excuse the miss hit on the goal kick as you're talking him up. Gallardo. Three minutes to go in this first half. Omaha controlling the ball, 60% of the possession. 4 shots to 1, neither side though with 1 on target. Well, I suspect I should give credit for a save on that last one to James Sneddon from the chaos in front. Up tonight, 8 Eastern, New Mexico, Phoenix, another 1 versus 8 matchup. That one, though, in the USL Championship. Got the League One semifinals next Sunday, and then from there, go on to the remainder of the postseason slate, all culminating in the titles. League One final, November 16th or 17th, championship final on November 23rd. Here's Kunga. Kunga trying to split through. Schenfeld won it. Look where Terzaghi is helping back defensively here. Not afraid to do the dirty work. All-time leading scorer in League One. This was his first season that he did not hit double-digit goals, Terzaghi. Injuries really cost him this year. Only 13 appearances, 8 starts, 3 goals. First 4 years in the league, all double-digit goals. Now Gallardo looking back post, and Sneddon has it the whole way.
Still think it's a little bit narrow on that left side. The way that Ryan Jiba has pushed himself just in front of Max Schneider. Again, a lot of wandering within this system. No issues with that whatsoever. Not the same sort of presence, though. The way that they like to pivot out. Again, when you push Blake Malone over on the left, that gets Charlie Ostrom a little bit higher, and he just maintains such a good equilibrium on the left flank so that they create that proper balance. And a lot has come through the right in the way that Lewis and Kunga have gone about it. Kunga stayed high. Gomez drops in and just don't really have anybody over there. It's got to be one of the bigger talking points heading into the dressing room, is trying to find a way to stretch this team on both sides of the ball, because the space has been there, but a lot of times when they've looked up, they haven't been able to have a body streaking down into the corner. That's what I'm talking about.
Ryan Jiba. Schneider over the top. Gomez brings it down. He's taken the ground. He wants a penalty. Sneddon has it, and it's going to go against Gomez. Richmond thought the offside flag was popping up. Gomez thought he was fouled. And in the end, I believe they get Gomez for a handball, similar to what we saw earlier from Schenfeld.
I thought there was contact in this as well. Really smartly done. You know, I talk about maintaining a presence, going direct as well, and as quickly as Schneider gets in behind here, good first touch. He does a good job getting into the position to shield the ball. It doesn't feel like there's a ton of contact to actually force the attacker to ground there, though.
Bell recovers. 1 more minute of stoppage time left in this first half. Zico Lewis, a good step by Griffin Garnett. Schenfeld cuts it in. See if there's one last chance for Richmond in this half, although they may be content to just get this to the whistle because Omaha's swarming here late in this half. It's through for Kirkland. Flag stayed down. Kirkland. And it will be a corner here for Richmond. Chance to steal something before the break. Second corner for Richmond. Schenfeld, high arcing ball around to Garnett, who has to retrieve. 2 minutes come and gone, and they won't get a chance to attack further. There's the whistle. To end halftime, 0-0 between Omaha and Richmond. The 1 versus the 8. Omaha and Richmond still scoreless through 45. A couple of big stops made by James Sneddon to preserve the 0-0 scoreline. Rashid Nuhu did not have much to do in half number 1. They hope to keep it that quiet going into the second half as well. Very tight between these two teams. We expected it. It's 1 versus 8 in name only. Over the last 6 games of the season, these were 2 of the 3 best teams in all of USL League One. And the third member of our crew, Bridget Howard, is standing by with Omaha head coach Dominic Casciato.
Thanks, guys. Coach, an intense first half, but I heard you repeatedly throughout the half telling your guys, keep going, keep going. What did you like from them?
Yeah, I think we were pretty good down the right-hand side. Maybe just need to switch it a little bit quicker and get in down the left-hand side as well, because we're becoming a little bit predictable on that right-hand side.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Back to you guys.
0-0 at the break between Richmond and Omaha. They got you covered in the studio at halftime. Stefano Fusaro and Chris Whittingham to break it all down. 0-0 in the USL League One quarterfinal. Set to begin half number 2 here at Werner Park in the USL League One playoffs, brought to you by Terminix. 0-0 at the break between Union Omaha and the Richmond Kickers. Just about set to begin half number 2. Alongside Devin Kerr, I'm Joe Malfa. We send it back to the third member of our crew, Bridget Howard, who caught up with both coaches at halftime.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I caught up with Darren Zawatsky at the break, and he said obviously in the first half they needed to get the ball more, thought they defended hard. Their chance was good in the final third, but ultimately he felt that 0-0 was a fair score and a representation of that first half. As for the second half, he said they're going to bring on Nil Vinyals, for the second half. He's a guy that can hold the ball really well, but he said we're going to have to continue to defend like crazy.
See how that impacts things here in this second half. And right away, you're seeing Nil Vinyals on the ball here, carrying into the space. Vinyals has a deflection go off of him. He changes things drastically, Vinyals, a guy who last year was first team all-league in USL League One, 2 goals and 5 assists. He was also Richmond's club MVP. In his time here in this league, he's really, whether it's been in Tormenta or in Richmond, just been a playmaker. And that is what Darren Zawatsky is hoping for in this second half. Picked up by Kirkland. Ryan Sierakowski, who was sacrificed for Nil Vinyals, had the best chance of that first half for the Richmond Kickers. O'Dwyer tries from distance. New fights it off.
It's certainly going to change things down underneath with what you would imagine would be a bump to the outside for Chandler O'Dwyer. Again, as the season has gone on, getting him in a little bit more of a restricted position. Not a bad thing. He's been able to operate underneath that 9, a lot more comfortable out on the wing, and Vinyals coming in centrally, paired next to Saka Morant. You know, ball retention, I'm all for, but still having the ability to stretch the game, oh so important, especially with the lack of mobility up top for that man right there, Terzaghi. Dwyer gives you that.
Right off to Lewis. Gomez. Locked in the corner. What can he do from here? Can he at least try to earn a corner kick out of this? Swarm now taken down. Essentially, it is a corner. It's going to be a free kick from right next to that flag.
Again, similar to a couple of the decisions in the first half. Really well done by Richmond Kickers to have the appropriate markers in place, and then just silly decision on the back end of it. Great hold-up play by Gomez down in the corner, and just no need whatsoever there from James Vaughn as he comes over the back shoulder. Great little 2v1, apply pressure, win it, and then come the other direction, or at least push it out over the sideline. And instead, another really good opportunity from set piece. Again, I want you to keep an eye if they want to go clever here. There was just an acreage of space available in the first half chance atop the 18. If they wanted to go quick on the ground, they chose to go direct. They had a ton of bodies in the box, but they did have that option to come short just inside the top of the 18.
Clipped in, knuckleball there. It's still loose on the goal line. Shout for a handball from Master Antonio. At the very least, he thought it would be a corner, but it's out for a goal kick. Dangerous moment there on the goal line, somehow stays out.
A bit fortunate the way that it pops up for Master Antonio, quite high on the second chance come through. Once again, and really well done by Sneddon just to get a hand on it. But the amount of bodies that he's got in front of him, can't really get enough force, and then really just a lot of flat-footed players standing down again. Much too high for Master Antonio to really be able to attack it.
It's going to be an interesting second half here for James Sneddon, the 18-year-old. He's going to be down at that end with the supporters. I don't know if they'll be speaking kindly to him. I'd bet not. See how he manages that environment down there. Nice unique setup here, the way it is at Werner Park. A converted baseball diamond out there over what would be the right center field, left center field wall. You've got the berm where the fans set up. Give it away here to Terzaghi. Takes the deflection and it's out for a corner. Again, that's just a reminder here on this field how quickly things change. An innocent looking goal kick turns into a chance for Terzaghi and now a corner. Schenfeld will take it again. Dangerous on the set pieces, dangerous from the run of play. Gets a lot of crosses in. Schenfeld, good service, Terzaghi off the bar, and again! 2 chances for Richmond. Somehow neither break the deadlock. Here goes Omaha. Kunga with Lewis. Kunga to Lewis. Zico Lewis back to Kunga! End to end, Omaha leads!
Unreal. Absolutely unreal. From end to end. Fortune on one for the Richmond Kickers, but Lady Luck, no assistance whatsoever, twice off the crossbar. And the level of efficiency here, Kunga coming through. The way that he holds this till the tail end to get the second defender to commit is everything. To hold off the first line of pressure. The second committed, opens up the space centrally. James Stenton can do nothing but watch. As the most efficient attacking team in League One this year, on full display once again. Dimensions a bit shorter than what you get elsewhere, but quality never lacking with the Union on that front line, ever so clever.
I feel like sometimes it gets cliche when we talk about the fine margins in knockout football, but that's exactly what we mean. Underside of the bar twice. Could have easily been 1-0 Richmond, and we would have just had an Omaha kickoff, and instead, it's 1-0 Omaha the other way. Kunga had 4 goals and 2 assists in the regular season. Player who's had quite the journey. USL Championship, and then to Norway and Libya, and then back to the US where he joined Omaha. And he has the goal that stands right now that would put them in the semifinal.
And think about it too, again, twice it's off the woodwork, Joe. The way that it bounces out, Lagos Kunga gets the first touch, and I just want you to watch the commitment on the bottom side of your screen by Zico Lewis. Kunga does all of the hard work, but if Lewis doesn't understand that he has to fully sell out on this left-hand flank, the ball's never able to be played in. Kunga never able to be the recipient, and Omaha never able to grab the lead. Beautiful display, unselfish by both, capped off by the lead just at the start of the second.
And 15-2 they are this year when they score first. Here's Kunga. Lewis slots it through for Jiba. Ryan Jiba cleared out for a corner. Well done, tracking back by Josh Kirkland.
How's it, by the way? You know, the conversation in the first half was making sure that you were less predictable. Dominic Casciato, just at the tail end of the first half. Same sentiments. We got to find a way to be more effective on the left-hand side. Well, you get your opening goal from the streaking run by Zico Lewis. Now you get the higher line of pressure by Ryan Jiba. You make the back line shift itself, and that's when this dynamic attack of all the rotation and that front three that quickly turns to a five-man conversation comes into full effect for Union Omaha. Much better start here.
Corner, back post, touched by Sneddon. Oh, it's a vital one. Two unmarked bodies back there. Sneddon gets enough of it. Otherwise, it's probably 2-0. Lewis was waiting for it. Popped up over his head. He let it go because it took a deflection. Another corner coming now for Union Omaha.
We've got to recover, establish some confidence, recover quickly. 8 goals now in the opening 15 minutes of the second half. That's second most in League One, trailing only Greenville Triumph, who have 9. The difference is Greenville so good at reestablishing their identity. That's why they're a top 4 team entering postseason play. That is who is laying and waiting. The winner of this match will take on Greenville Triumph.
In swinger, Sneddon. Could have done better with it that time. Got out of harm's way, but keeps the possession here for Omaha.
To my point about the quality of what you get out of this Union Omaha team and that Greenville Triumph team, maybe negative on the defensive front four.
Zico Lewis turning, laying it off for Schneider, selling out to block it there. It was James Vaughn, who's still down.
Just go back on a second. I was talking about the goals conceded by Richmond kickers. Union Omaha, 10 goals in the first 15 minutes of the second half. Only Greenville Triumph have more. So that's what I was talking about, the recovery capability of that Greenville squad. It's something that comes down to organization, communication, certainly 2 things that Richmond kickers have been very efficient in. A little bit scattered at the start of the second half here. And with all of that movement, Cella and Garnett on the back line up their efforts. Certainly not easy with all of the movement that comes. We saw Schneider really deep in the first half. Now he comes in. Delabella has asserted himself higher. Really well done by James Vaughn on the pinch over here to get contact on the ball, though. Certainly one force for the wear on the backside of things. It's one of the bigger question marks coming in, the absence of Dakota Barnathan, again suspended. Red card picked up in the 41st minute against the Charlotte Independents. Ground coverage, defensive capability. Vaughn's done very well for himself so far tonight.
It looks like he'll be all right to continue. Has to come off here after having the trainer come out, but it's already starting to drift toward midfield. Wants to get right back out there. Throw here for Omaha. Some contact there, but not much. Aaron Gomez trying to bait Jeremy Shear into a penalty call. It will be a corner kick, though. He's still trying to have a word with Jeremy Shear, but it's not a winning argument there.
Look at Gallardo, by the way, pretty much unmarked at this point in time. I mean, obviously you've got Moran, who's got his eye on him, but a ton of space for him to maneuver through.
Sent toward that back post, a touch on it from Sneddon. Hustling Moran to keep it in, and he did. Avoids conceding another corner. And it'll be Richmond's throw. Referee pointed the wrong way initially, otherwise Darren Zawatsky might have blown a gasket. He's not been taken too kindly to some of the calls that we've seen down his end so far in this second half. That one was evident. Gomez picks up a yellow, getting in the way of that quick free kick. At the hour mark now at Warner Park, a 1-0 lead for the 1 seed Union Omaha. Lagos Kunga in the 51st minute, right after Richmond had hit the crossbar twice, seconds apart. The first one was saved onto the bar by Rashid Nuhu. Cannot lose sight of that in this whole equation, that he did make the save initially. Only save he's had to make so far. Otherwise, we're having a very different conversation about this game. Glad to have you with us for it on CBS Sports Network alongside Devin Kerr. I'm Joe Malfa. First of our USL doubleheader today on CBS Sports Network, coming up at 8 Eastern. The 1 versus 8 in the Western Conference and USL Championship as New Mexico United host Phoenix Rising, the reigning champions of USL Championship. Richmond preparing 2 more changes here.
I thought it was so nice of CBS Sports Network to schedule such friendly rivals heading into postseason, playing Phoenix and New Mexico. There's sarcasm in that, in case people at home didn't.
Oh, really? I wasn't sure.
Just making sure.
Got it. Vinyals. Vinyals curling it, but nobody there on the back end. And after that goal was scored by Union Omaha, there was a special moment over on the bench. Bridget Howard caught it.
Yeah, it was an incredibly emotional moment here on this near sideline. Head coach Dominic Casciato and his coaching staff were very emotional, and they embraced in some very long hugs on this sideline, and they were proudly raising Jerome's jersey here on this near sideline. It was a really cool moment, guys.
Obviously weighing on the minds of these players, his condition, his family's condition, all with the armbands honoring him in the explosion at his home that affected him, his wife, and his family.
And the opportunity to talk with Union Omaha head coach Casciato, and immediately just concern overall. Obviously, it's bigger than the game, and trying to find ways to make sure that support was there for the game, for the club, and certainly for the community, so that everybody is, listen, it's certainly a critical situation, but stable as of right now. Spent the morning with Meshach Jerome prior to surgery. Long way to go on the road to recovery, but I felt positive in our exchange. What an impact that seasoned veteran Meshach Jerome has had on this Union Omaha squad off the back line. Just such a poignant presence. Great communicator. Wondrous striker of the ball.
Good service there from the corner from Schenfeld. Nuhu was interfered with. Free kick coming out for the Owls. In the aftermath of both Hurricanes Helene and Milton, the USL has partnered with United Way Suncoast to help the Tampa Bay area recover from the devastation the storm left behind. To learn how you can get involved, scan the QR code or visit www.uslsoccer.com/Milton to ensure individuals and families have the access to the resources they need. Some changes here for Richmond. Arthur Bashua comes on for James Vaughn in the midfield. Gomez run into by Fitch from behind. Play on. And Terzaghi feeds it through. Chance brewing here for Richmond. Deflected out for a corner.
That's really unfortunate. They weren't able to find the far post run. Simon Fitch did really well to get his high line and first in behind the back line of Union Omaha. It's got a lot of rotating pieces within the last two subs. Most notably, you'll get Tony Pineda operating just off that left shoulder of Terzaghi, but really attack-minded within the midfield now that brings over to Dwyer and Vignoles Moran.
Have to defend the corner again. Tony Pineda was right there with Emi Terzaghi in that attack. He also just came on, Pineda, for Josh Kirkland. So the subs that Darren Sawatsky has brought on have each played a role and had an impact in some capacity right after coming on. Earlier it was Neil Vignoles, now Tony Pineda. Arthur Bashua also had a chance there from the corner again. Nuhu very calmly through the traffic, didn't come for it, waited for it, and the ball found him.
Not the sure-handed movement that we're used to seeing from Nuhu, though there is a bit of contact with the substitute Bashua. Not a ton in it. No, it's inside the top of the 6, and pretty much every referee in the world no longer allows friendly fire in that area. Not complaining, just saying. Well, he certainly made the changes to be aggressive, Darren Sawatsky. Let's see how much they're willing to open themselves up, maybe become a little bit more aggressive with the pressure up high. They were incredible in that sense in the opening 20 minutes of the match. A bit more restricted in nature since then.
This is where Omaha can be lethal. They have a lead. You have to press a little bit more. You leave yourself more vulnerable, and they are good in transition. Yellow card comes out here for Chandler O'Dwyer.
You don't necessarily want to say that Chandler O'Dwyer had to, but with the turnover and the way the two center backs were lined up, there was so much space, and he had their hips turned around. Gomez got them a little bit flat, makes it difficult for them to maintain top-end speed. Garnett a bit slow to come back over, hesitant given the run over the back shoulder and the separation between he and Cella.
Too far for a strike, and Les Gallardo is really feeling himself today. See what he has cooked up. Goes short right into the wall. That was the last option that he should have gone with. Vignoles now tries to go quickly, has Terzaghi and a sea of black jerseys. He does well, draws the free kick. It's a yellow for Schneider.
A little bit surprised they didn't try and play quicker here. If he releases it to Terzaghi, then you've got the speed of Vignoles on the back end of things to open it up. Fully understanding that Terzaghi isn't as fleet of foot, but way too many touches here. Fortunate on the backside, to be fair, because defensively, Omaha did have numbers. Well done.
Quickly taken, Pineda took a deflection, ball curled in, still loose, Nuhu misplayed it, contact there, and it's gonna go against Richmond. Bashua thought he was fouled and it should be a penalty.
Well, no chance that he was gonna get the penalty shout here, but really good line of pressure. The ball that was played down into the corner, quickly off the throw, perfect. And Schoenfeld to find Tony Pineda. Look at the amount of spin on that ball for it not to end up over the end line. Just that touch right there, step in front of it and shield instead of creating the contact on Mr. Antonio.
Brendan Knapp will replace Lagos Kunga, and he's the difference maker here. The lone tally in Omaha's 1-0 lead.
Job well done, no question about that from Lagos Kunga again. A lot of separation for that front unit because of the way that they attacked this right-hand flank. Didn't open up a lot of space, didn't allow the fluid movements through the midfield to be so dynamic going forward. Unbalanced, no left flank. Beautiful to start the second half. Two real quick opportunities. The first one resulting in Lagos Kunga breaking the deadlock.
Darren Zawatsky patiently waiting for somebody in an Omaha jersey to come take the ball for the throw. Predictably so, Omaha in no hurry. Up a goal, 20 minutes to play. Jiba.
The ball.
Richmond team still looking for answers. You've seen glimpses in transition, how dangerous it could be with Terzaghi and Vignals combining since Vignals came on at the half. Nothing to show for it yet. Meanwhile, Omaha looks to find an insurance goal. Some urgency there from Sneddon. Getting the ball from the ball kid, who's probably only a few years younger than he is, to get it right back into play. 18-year-old goalkeeper's done well today. He's controlled his box, made a couple of big stops in the first half. Not much he could have done about the goal itself. Brilliantly orchestrated counter-strike from Omaha. It was Kunga to Lewis, Lewis to Kunga, Kunga to the net.
There was a great story floating around for James Sneddon, kind of his growth within the game. Got away with one there, though.
Here's Gomez streaking through, almost found Malone. The center back not afraid to range forward. Bashua. Moran. Here's Vignals. Terzaghi. Can he produce that moment of magic? Nearly did so right before Omaha scored. It was his header touched onto the bar by the goalkeeper, Rashid Nuhu. There is going to be that moment for Richmond. Again, Terzaghi, that seems to be the point of origin for it. 58 goals, all-time leading goal scorer in League One. Here's Bashua trying to go at it alone. He does give you that option now, Bashua, that big-bodied target to play it in over the top. See what he can do as Richmond go direct down a goal. Did not score this season, only an assist to his name. He won the title in 2022 with South Georgia Tormenta. Arthur Bashua. Good step to win it back from Richmond. Not on the same page, though. Bashua, Terzaghi having words now as they walk away from it, but it's still their ball. Nuhu tracking it, and he has it. Only one save he's made. Denied Terzaghi. Luck on their side as the rebound fell to a wide open Cladicella, who put it off the bar. Tough to fault Cella Had to react quickly. Seems easier to just tap that one in, but you're reacting quickly. End up getting too much on it, hits the bar.
Near impossible because you don't know what angle the ball's going to come off the post, right? And then just a lightning quick reaction from both the men who stepped off the pitch a second ago, Lagos Kunga, as well as the one just coming in your viewfinder a second ago, and Zico Lewis. Special moments in playoff history for Union Omaha. You better believe that that one right there would certainly go down in folklore if they're able to pull out a result here.
Chiba somehow managed to center that one, keep it in. Flicked on, Gomez was lurking, Sneddon with it.
Yeah, I talked about special moments, and I was referencing James Sneddon a second ago. It's a really good article put out for him, and he talks about his love for the game and specifically this organization that, hey, he didn't really think about the professional route to about 2 years ago when he started training with Darren Skowalski in the first team, but he does recall a special moment growing up about a decade ago, almost to the day, mind you. Richmond Kickers, Charleston Battery, the great coaches of Lee Calishaw and Mike Anhauser doing battle, as they did many a time down the stretch, and Matthew Delicott, the striker for the Richmond Kickers, producing a special moment in OT that year. It was a 2-1 victory mid-October that sent them into the conference semifinals. Things were different then. Midfielder for the Battery that day, Zach Prince. Midfielder for the Battery that day, Justin Portillo.
My goodness.
And the list goes on and on and on. Taylor Mueller was on the back line. The USL Championship great. Colin Martin in the midfield for the Richmond Kickers. George Davis IV, one of the all-time championship greats, doing battle there as well.
Some USL Championship royalty on the field on that one.
The Richmond Kickers Hall of Famers as well.
Two more changes coming now for Union Omaha. We'll see Misael Rodriguez and Mark Bronick come on. Ryan Jiba and Zico Lewis will depart. And Mark Bronick only made 3 appearances for about an hour total in the regular season. Had a goal, just signed his pro deal this past week on October 28th. Scored their winning penalty in their Open Cup upset of USL Championship El Paso Locomotive, so not afraid for the big moment. He's asked to help defend this one out now from the front. Bronick calling for it here. He was open on that right side. Misael Rodriguez, an option up top too, a 21-year-old on loan, a season-long loan, joined in March from Chicago Fire 2. Gomez, he has shown a knack for walking the tightrope in this one and drawing a foul when all said and done. Doesn't get the call this time, ball does stay in. Schneider still in, Gomez now. Gomez, some way, somehow, that ball never left the confines of this field until now for a throw. A rugged battle down in the corner. A long throw you'd expect coming here for Omaha. They like to get that flick on when they can. But nobody's showing at the top of the 6, so it's just a quick short throw for Bronick. Contact there, rather, Rodriguez. Knapp. Gomez trying to slip it through for Knapp. Clip from behind. Not enough to elicit a whistle. Richmond having trouble clearing it here. Terzaghi finally gets it out toward the halfway line. Blasting it forward, Master Antonio, but nobody in the neighborhood.
This is where the cat and mouse really comes into effect. Casciato pulled a number off the front line. Now Gomez will come a little bit further to the left side, let the two operate up front and really put pressure on the center backs. And the idea is he wants them to distribute early because they have the overload in the midfield now. It's Brendan Knapp just in front of Schneider and Olabella. So good from a physical standpoint of winning these battles, and so the space is going to be more clogged, puts a lot more pressure on the outside for guys like Pineda and Bashua.
Schneider shielding, ends up with it between his legs. Down to Casciato, having a word there with the ball boy to slow things down. Glad the cameras picked that up. You always think back to that moment, I believe it was Jose Mourinho, and the quick assist from the ball boy went over and congratulated him for a job well done. They're part of this too, late in games. Given away, Bronick shielding off, Rodriguez there to help.
I've got vivid memories from a ball boy at the professional level. Then MLS squad, Miami FC. Dear Lord, Miami Fusion. That's where my head's at right now. Being on the sideline, Pablo Mastroeni, Brian Dunseth quickly telling me to get myself in gear, slow things down when they were in the lead. Kind of funny how those things sit with you as a 14-year-old player.
It's a formative moment. I mean, you see Mark Bronick out here, again, just signed his pro deal last week, the 17-year-old. That ball boy right there might be 4 or 5 years from suiting up for you in Omaha for Dom Casciato, and you're getting a taste now of how to close out a game. Terzaghi, time slipping through the hourglass now. Terzaghi, 7 minutes to go, trying to find a way through. Still just a one shot on target for Richmond. Every time they come forward, though, they may be vulnerable on the other end for that Omaha counter. Here's Rodriguez. Good step put in by Griffin Garnett, denying Misael Rodriguez. But keep that in mind every time Richmond goes forward now. Omaha maybe just as likely to strike the other way.
I recognize the fact that they're down 1-0, but that's a game-saving tackle from Griffin Garnett on the back line. Such poise from the 17-year-old who just signed his professional contract at the beginning of August, was a Washington Husky commit, longtime friend of Darren Sawatsky. Jamie Clark in charge of that program knows that he lost a good one, but for good cause. Top quality defending from the teenager.
Dolabella, it's a quiet day today. Dolabella. Rodriguez, Bronick, over the top again, looking for Rodriguez, and Garnett clears. Pignol's tripped up. Schneider thought it was clean. He is on a yellow, does have to be careful not to pop up on the referee's radar. It's Gomez, Schneider, and Mastrantonio with the yellows for Omaha. Cella and O'Dwyer with the yellows for Richmond in the late stages. Pineda hesitated, had a man open down the left wing, and Schenfeld. Now it's fed that way. Pineda continues his run. Tony Pineda, fronted by Blake Malone, battling, and it is a goal kick. Rashid Nuhu has been here for every accolade taken home by this Omaha team through the years. He's taken home a few himself. Goalkeeper of the year, twice a Golden Glove winner. He's been here for all of the player shields, 3 of them. The cup they won back in 2021. The cup that never was back in 2020 when they made it to that final against Greenville. Made the big save to keep it 0-0. Moments later, the goal from Omaha, looking for another now, blocked. Centered and gathered by Snedden. Gallardo tried to create the opportunity. Given away by Snedden. It's Bronick! Tries to get around the keeper from the ground, and it stays out. Combined 35 years of age in that challenge between keeper and striker. How old are you?
Well, certainly a mistake coming off the back line for the Richmond Kickers with all the space. Thought that Snedden was a bit slow to react here, but then closes down. I tell you, in real time, I didn't think that he made contact initially. Well, that's angle from behind tells a bit different of a story, but still difficult to fully make out where the first contact occurs, whether it's before or after the ball.
Nuhu tracking it. I think we had a little bit of a Diego Maradona impression there from Bashua. Shout out to the fan that was just picked up on our crowd mic saying you're not Maradona to Bashua. Beckett Howell will be coming on for Richmond momentarily. Told it'll be for Griffin Garnett. Two minutes plus stoppage time. Rodriguez for Bronick. Bronick turns, he's taken down by Schenfeld. Already 3 teams in the semifinal. Whoever wins this, as of now, Omaha would go on to face Greenville in the other semifinal. It's Madison, Spokane on one side of the bracket already set. Richmond and Greenville have been tremendous rivals throughout the years. Geographically, Omaha and Greenville have become rivals throughout the years because of their just success and always having to get through each other. In some cases, to take home titles or battling for seeding. Either way, it's a juicy matchup. Right now, it looks like Omaha. 90th minute at Warner Park. Rodriguez stepping. Omaha trying to close this one out from the front, keeping the pressure up on Richmond. Hard to score an equalizing goal if you can't even get it across the halfway line. We're still coming up on CBS Sports Network this evening, 8 Eastern, New Mexico and Phoenix in the 1-8 matchup in the Western Conference of USL Championship. There will be 5 additional minutes of stoppage time here. Anderson Holt is readying to come on now for Omaha. Keep this stoppage in mind. It's going to be 5 minutes from whenever we resume play here.
Well, you and I were having a conversation off air coming into this game that if the Richmond Kickers were able to pull off the upset, it'd be the biggest in postseason history in USL League One play. Storied, short, yes, but dense in nature. Everything that has gone on since 2019. History within their own right this year, though, just in terms of what they haven't been able to do, and conceding that first goal, 0-5-2. Conceding the first goal on the road, and just 1 win and 14 overall on the season. Character truly tested down the stretch, the defensive resilience on display, but right now it's all about that attacking unit and where they can produce the magic from.
Max Schneider's day is done. Anderson Holt will come on. Again, keep an eye on the clock. Spent 2 minutes there on the injury for Schneider. The 5 minutes were shown on the board before that. So don't be shocked to see this trickle into 6 and 7 on the clock ticking up in the upper left. Expect this to go to 97. So 5 minutes of stoppage time from now. Crowd sensing something may be on here. Rodriguez, Bronick is all alone in the middle if Rodriguez can get it there. It wasn't really a way for Rodriguez to find that ball over to Bronick, but they do a good job of taking it to the corner, keeping possession, taking time off the clock. Second goal would be nice, obviously, but not necessary at this point for Omaha. Hearts have been heavy the last couple of days. A home explosion. Mishak Jerome, that's impacted him and his family. It's impacted this family as well, the Union Omaha family. All wearing the armbands today. Supporters have that tifo draped over the outfield wall. When they scored the goal, the assistant coaches were quick to hold up his jersey. That is what is top of mind right now for Omaha. Win for him and his recovery effort. And they are just a couple of minutes away from doing just that. Luck was certainly on their side the moment they got the goal. Back-to-back, seconds apart, crossbars hit by Richmond. Omaha, in the ensuing transitional moment, find the goal that has stood up now for 40 minutes as the potential winner. Sent long, not intentionally, Terzaghi goes down. Nothing there, just his momentum carried him away as he tried to make something out of it. Taking their sweet time here, Omaha, but too much so. Rodriguez picks up a yellow for time wasting. So again, we're about to reach 5 minutes, but that clock started 2 minutes into stoppage time after the Max Schneider injury, so expect this to go to 7. Referee's discretion, Jeremy Shear can certainly blow it earlier if he wanted to, but in fairness to the 5 minutes that were given, that did not begin until 2 had passed. You figure there's 2 more minutes here for Richmond to find something. One shot on target, 2 crossbars hit for the kickers. Still though, down just 1, all it would take is 1. There can be only 1 who's through to that last semifinal spot in League One. Long throw from Gallardo. Just get it to the corner now if you're Omaha. And the crowd knows it. Smart crowd here at Warner Park. Every single time this ball goes out of play, it's time off the clock. It's territory gained by Omaha. It's a step closer to winning this one in the quarterfinal. Thrown to the corner. Gallardo was hoping to have the same result here, but Rodriguez could not handle it. Now tempers flaring. Schenfeld in the face of Rodriguez. Jeremy Shear trying to settle things down, having some words, jogging back up the field with Rodriguez and with Gallardo. Could be one last chance to go forward here for Richmond. Launched by Sneddon. Crowd is longing for the whistle, and there it is! A difficult couple of days for Union Omaha result in a moment of bliss. A 1-0 win over the Richmond Kickers, and they are through to the USL League One semifinals. It's the Greenville Triumph who await them. Celebration continues here for the supporters over in the Parliament, and the reason they're celebrating, Lagos Kunga providing the match-winning goal. He is standing by with our Bridget Howard.
All right, guys, Lagos, your goal, the difference maker tonight. Take me through that run and that finish.
I mean, it was a crazy sequence, as you guys saw, 2 crossbars, and then they played the ball with the header, and then all I knew was just going forward, and then I saw one of my teammates played it to him, and I was hoping he could get to it and give it back to me, and he did, and, you know, I was there to finish it, so it was amazing. Yeah, it feels good,
This was an incredibly challenging week for this group with the news that came out about Mishak Jerome. How was this group able to rally together and get this win in his honor?
Yeah, it's been super hard with all the stuff that's been going on. We all came in together, you know, as a team. And I mean, throughout the whole year, we had different challenges. So, I mean, I'm just glad to score for my best friend, because he's honestly one of my best friends on the team, so.
This was one of the best environments I've ever been a part of. And how about this fan base? What do you have to say about the support that they've shown for you guys, not just tonight, but this entire season?
I mean, best fans in the league for sure. So I'm just happy. This is every game, you know, so this is amazing. So hopefully we can bring it to the city.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Back to you guys.
Now you could sense the joy from the fans and from Lagos Kunga, banging on the drum the whole way, those supporters over beyond the goal where the winner was scored. Omaha wins it 1-0 over the Richmond Kickers. We're back in just a moment to wrap things up. Kickers not on the end where they had hoped, but Omaha gets the victory for Meshack Jerome. City of Champions here in Nebraska. Union Omaha, they've taken home 3 player shields. They won another USL League One title, and they're a step closer today after their 1-0 win over the Richmond Kickers in the quarterfinal. It's Greenville next in the semifinal, and they get there because of our BetMGM play of the match. Really, it was 3 plays all wrapped into one, from the corner to the crossbar to the counter the other way.
It built on special moments, title runs are, and it could have been special for the Richmond Kickers. Terzaki on the first one, the follow-up coming off the crossbar as well. But then just the utter committal by every single player in a Union Omaha uniform to counter coming this other direction. Notice the run by Lagos Kunga to hold the runner, pushes in front of him. It allows Zico Lewis to come high and also commits the second center back through it. Understand that this team, it's an offensive juggernaut. Clinical in the final third, leading League One all season long. But now 14 of 23 games decided by 1 goal or less. The commitment, the quality, and certainly bullying their way into the semifinal, and a date set with the Greenville Triumph.
It's a really fun semifinal here. On one side, Devin, you've got a Madison team that has always been close but never gotten there. Spokane new to the league. On the other side, the old guard. So you're guaranteed to have somebody who's won a title against somebody who's looking for a first.
And just keep an eye on this 3-7 matchup. That Spokane team, Lee Wiedman, great job running at the helm, stumbled into the postseason. 7-game winless, including 5 losses, knocking off the number 2 overall seed, Northern Colorado. You talk about an offensive juggernaut in Union Omaha. That Northern Colorado team's the most balanced in League One. Spokane looking good moving into the semifinal.
You have Omaha, Greenville, you have Madison, Spokane, and you have some Richmond Kickers fans who will be making a sad trek back to Virginia. It's Omaha through to the semifinal on the heroics of Lagos Kunga. For the crew that makes this possible, broadcast partner Devin Kerr, I am Phil Malfa saying so long for now. Remember to come back tonight at 8 Eastern when it is New Mexico United against Phoenix Rising in the USL Championship playoffs. But for now, it's Omaha through to the USL League One semifinal.